molecular sensor inventor, the world's first female amputee to climb Everest, a North Korean defector, happiness scientist, artificial intelligence pioneer. This may sound like a massively random, eclectic group of folks who at first glance have nothing to do with each other. But they do. They're all part of the fascinating lineup of 50+ speakers from science, design, tech, music, the creative arts and business who are taking the stage over 2 days here at the 2015 annual Wired Summit, inspired by Telefonica Open Future. As always, a special edition of Digital Futures sees us personally round up some of the most forward-thinking people and riveting advances that absolutely need to be on your radar. The agenda for day one alone includes pioneering design, food futurology, and a new way to understand data, followed by an equally exhilarating day two about emotive computing, the app economy, digital music industry, and my personal passion, startups with the potential for huge social impact. We'll also soon do a walkthrough of the test lab inspired by Telefonica Open Future. Now, this is an experimental space at the summit where we demo some of our absolute favorite products, including this one, the Cell VR, a full-body motion-tracked virtual reality game. I've just tried it and I can say it's fully immersive. But first, we invited some of the Wired speakers to appear on Digital Futures, so let's hear from them.
Over the next 5 years, the biggest impact that technology can have, in my view, is around the application of AI, which is my domain, where we won't replace human intelligence. It's not the point, because we know how to do that. We know how to create human intelligence. It takes a man and a woman. But we will augment it. We'll begin to augment it in ways that we never thought were possible.
The thing I think is most important just happened, which is that the UN has committed to using some of the techniques that we developed to be able to analyze these digital media, telephone records, cell phone records, credit cards, things like that, to be able to measure all of the sustainable development goals, things like poverty, violence, things like that. Not about individuals, but how is a nation or a community doing in making this world a better place?
I think one of the technologies that's going to be very important in the next 5 years are blockchains. I think as more and more assets get encoded digitally, blockchain technology is going to be really important for verification.
So I think a new generation of sensors that's going to enable immediate feedback for us humans to learn more about ourselves, our environment, is going to impact us tremendously, altering the way we behave, think, interact with each other.
Bioprinting is one of those technologies that is going to be in the forefront.
I think in terms of societal impact in the next 5 years, I think low Earth orbit. Not a lot of people think about it. It's just a couple hundred kilometers up, right? So there's a lot of companies that are thinking about launching large constellations of satellites up there just to get data, Earth imaging data, creating broadband internet across the whole surface, and that's going to bring a huge amount of information to populations that don't have connection to the internet. I think that's going to have a real impact on the world.
I think the key thing in terms of technology innovations are going to be around how we think about and design cities. So they're going to be things that are directly involved with the physical reality. Sadly, I know your program's called Digital Futures, but I think they're going to be involved with how people live, and particularly how people live within dense urban areas.
Enabling non-digital natives to embrace technology, I think, requires really smart design processes that really crystallizes the value proposition and takes technology and puts it into the background. Really, technology, when it's at its best, is not much different than magic.
I think that the biggest issue out there has to do with security and privacy, which are really sort of two sides of the same cone. What you need to have is you need to be sure that when you give somebody data, it goes where you intend it to and nowhere else. And so, for instance, one of the things we're trying very hard to do is to layer a new part of the internet that will actually make sure your data does what you think it's doing.
I mean, a huge issue has to be accessibility and people actually getting access to, usable digital online resources or smartphones.
Our everyday life is changing every day, and through that experience, people will smoothly and seamlessly be using those technologies. So it's coming.
In order to bring everyone along for the ride, We need to make sure that they feel safe in providing the data that they want to share, and also that they have ways of opting out so that they can use the technology without feeling like somehow everything about them is going to be known by someone else.
In terms of kind of the millennials being the kind of the thought leaders and the kind of leaders of tomorrow, I guess is kind of, I guess, undisputed. They're going to get older, and in a few years' time, they're going to be the guys running businesses, countries, and organisations all over the world.
The age group of the early millennials, 18 to 34-year-olds, I think actually has tremendous power to participate in this revolution. First of all, because they're digital natives, and second, because they're actually able to explore all of these new revolutions carte blanche.
The one thing that I've been really struck by is how the millennial generation is kind of engaging and exploiting with, online possibilities. So I mean, for me, a really good example is YouTube, which for my generation is, I go to look at that if I want to look at a pop video from the 1980s, but which people of the millennial generation have turned into not just a sort of social media platform, but actually like a place for opportunity.
When you're doing something different, something risky, technologically, when somebody tells you no, you can't do that, you just continue doing it and you innovate regardless. So I think, yeah, they're going to have a huge impact on developing technologies in the future.
I hope you were as intrigued and blown away as I was at this year's Wire 2015 gathering inspired by Telefonica Open Future. Another year, another brilliant summit. Thanks for watching.